Welcome, my students, to our budget line video presentation. So, as promised, I told to post a video regarding the budget line, no, in relation to your weekly home learning plan in the illustration of linear equation in two variables. So, the question is, what is a budget line? A budget line is basically a graphical representation of consumers' budget constraints. So on the screen is a graphical representation. So notice that there are two axes that is found on the screen. The first is the horizontal axis called x-axis with a commodity banana. No, ang name sa x-axis is banana. And the other vertical axis is the y-axis, and it has the commodity of six candy, no? So in the graphical representation, we talk about consumer budget constraints. So what is, by the way, a budget constraint? So it is defined. A budget constraint are all possible combinations of goods and services that can be attained given a current price and limited income. So the keyword there is possible combination of goods and services. So nga may naay goods and services. So dili tanan nimo gasto kag kwarta, ang purpose ra paggastos kwarta is pagpalit og butang, no? Pwede pod nga nigasto ka sa imong kwarta para makakuha ka og sakto nga serbisyo. Imong gipalit ang serbisyo sa ka tawo. For example, imong maid o imong patabangon or household pa, no? Itawag na sila o kasambahay. Serbisyo sa imong trabaho sa inyo, ha. So imong gibayaran ilang serbisyo. Pwede pod nga ang imong serbisyo palit kag airline tickets, no? Palit kag ticket, airline tickets. Ang imong gibayaran ana ang ticket dili lang papel kundi ang serbisyo sa kumpanya nga ihatod ka sa imong destinasyon nga safe and sound. So mao na ang mga services nga atong gisgutan nga magastos tag kwarta, no? Unya, given sa current price pilay presyo karon ug sa imuhang income nga intended budget ana mo limited, no? So in this graphical presentation you'll be able to see the following, no? Ningon ta commodity, no? Goods ato gisgutan, candy and banana. What else? Uh, prices. Okay, na prices, no? Prices. Banana is 2 pesos. Candy is 1 peso. No? Granting mo na ang situation. Now, the second is the limited income. Where is the limited income? Now, in the graphical representation, you'll be able to see the extreme, no? In the y-axis, you will see 6. And the x-axis, you will see x. So, ang extreme, ani guys, but pasabot. Here, the student bought only 6 pieces of candy and walay banana. On the other hand, the student bought 3 bananas without buying candy. So, extreme, no? So, makita na to ang presyo nga rin. Pila iyang income base sa presyo. So, ang candy is 1 peso times unom ka candies. Sa ato pa, 6 times 1, that is 6 pesos. On the other hand, sa extreme, 3 ka bananas times 2, 6 pesos gapon. So, therefore, base ani, ato makita nga ang income of the student is actually 6 pesos. Aside from the uh, stuff nga itong gisgutan, no? Kining candy, ang mga commodities, ang price, ug ang iyang income, the line, the budget line, talks also about the price ratio, no? So the price ratio, in the mathematical terminology, this is called the slope. So makita nato diri that the slope is defined as the ratio between rise, pasaka, and run. Or simply, rise, pasaka, over, run. And running means going to the left or going to the right. So, going to the left, it's negative. Going to the right, it's positive. Okay, later on, you will be able to understand that one. So, what is the price ratio or the slope in this uh, budget line? So, ato makita, no? 1, 2, divided by 1, 1 lang. Okay, what may numero diri sa ubos? So, 1 lang. Iyahang scaling. So, 2 divided by 1 is 2. So, that means to say, ang iyang atong pasabot ani for the price ratio, for every 2 candies sacrificed, the student will be able to get 1 banana. Sabot pasabot ha. Kada duha kuno ka candy nga iyang isakripisyo, makapalit ang usa ka bata o estudyante og usa ka banana. Mao na pasabot. Ana. So, this talks about the slope. Another, aside from that, the budget line talks or will also tell us that the region, the whole, no, the whole graphical presentation is divided into two. The upper bound and the lower bound. Okay, what does it mean? So, in the upper bound sa line, meaning to say, naigi-word diri butangan not feasible. Say for example, if the student wanted to buy 3 pieces of banana and 6 pieces of candies, this is not feasible because the income of the student is limited only for 6 pesos. So kung mo palit pa siya ana, sobra na siya hang budget. Sa terminology na to, oy, out of budget na ning bata ah. So sa may mahitabo, it's either mangutang siya or maghimo siya magic. Dili na maayo, no? Yan ang pugso niya kaugalingon. So, ang lesson learned ani, unsa man to para makapalit beyond ani. So, the only remedy is to increase the income sa bata. So, sa man niya, makita siya paagi nga mo increase sa tarong nga paagi nga mo increase yung income. Or ang pinakadali kay estudyante man mangayo siya mama og sobra sa 6 pesos. Papa sobra sa 6 pesos. Mama og papa sa sobra nga 6 pesos. Okay. So, luoy si mama og si papa kasi gira pangayuan. So, above the budget line is not possible, out of budget. Below the budget line is feasible but not optimal. So, sa sabot not optimal. So, along or within the budget line, since extreme na siya, mean to say, unom ka candies rin mapalit, walay saging. Tulo ka saging mapalit, walay candy. In between aning duha, ka-extreme, kini siya nga points, are actually a combination of the two commodities intended to buy for the budget, within the budget, no? So, meaning to say, these are the optimum way to buy the two commodities. And that will be equal to 6 pesos. Okay. Now, you notice there is a ubos na equation, gisuwat. Two equation, the general equation or the standard equation, and the slope-intercept form. Now, imo nakita, yun sa ni pagkuha, equal to 6 is the limited income. 2 is the price of the banana times the quantity, the number of bananas nga imo ipalit, plus 1 peso, 1y, times the quantity of the candies is equals to 6. Now, naibutang dire sa pikas. Anong slope man? The slope is negative 2. Kay, ningon lagi ko ganina, musaka ta kaduha, muliko ta sa left, going to the left is always negative. So, negative 1. 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2. Therefore, ang mugawas dire is negative 2x. Kaya nga naman po, ato siya i-convert. Kung ato ni tangtangon ng 2x dire, mabilin y na lang. Kaya ato ibalhin sa pikas, so dapat matangtag ni mag-minus tag 2x dire sa left hand side, mag-minus po tag 2x dire sa right hand side para mo balanse. So, mao ning nahitabo nga y is equals to negative 2x plus 6. Okay. So, ningon diri, feasible but not optimal. So, within the line, that is the optimum way of spending the limited income. Ma-0-0 gyud. Here, pwede ka mo palit og usa ka saging unya duha ka, example, duha ka candy. So usa ka saging 2 pesos, duha ka candy 2 pesos gyapon. All in all 4 pesos. So naa kay ma-save nga 2 pesos. So kanang ingon man diri nga not optimal kay 4 pesos is not equal to 6 pesos. Meaning to say na isubra nga 2 pesos. So nindot pamitio no nga kanang naay savings ang bata diri. So actually ang akong comment ani guys is nindot siya panagsaon. Nga naman naa na siya indicator. Kay kung dili gani nimo mas magasto ang intended budget into an optimum way, that means to say you are not a good budget officer. Imagine na imo kaugalingon, guys. Sigihan nimo sigihan nimo tipid ang imong kaugalingon bisag na kay sakto sa budget sama sa pagkaon. Ang tendency nimo ana niwang ka nga tawo, no? Because you are not actually maximizing the budget intended for your body, no? Ihatag ako sa insakto para walay problema. So, ang problema na guys, kung ato ibutang diri, you are a budget officer sa usa ka grupo. Unya, ang imuhang budget sa inyong grupo, tipid-tipido nimo, no? So sa usa ka tuig tipid-tipido nimo, libahal. So sa usa ka tuig, 12 ka buwan, 12 months. And then at the end of the month, tindot ka na savings, pero for sure, your members will really complain nga balik-balik inyong sudan, balik-balik inyong sudan, wala bay lain. So, kayo ka, sige lang, dako mo tag savings. Now, your members will eventually question you, anong inyo mo na tipidon ang sudan nga para mo tada sa pagkaon. I-gasto ka na sakto sa pagkaon. Okay? So, ang tendency ana guys, kung ingana ang inyong practice and then someday, that particular person will become a government official, no? Say for example, 10 million budget for food in that particular community. And then that particular community, that budget officer must have to divide the 10 million within 12 months. Then at the end of 12 months, 1 year, no? Naisubra. So, but pasabot ana, ang indication ana ang kanang budget officer gitipid-tipid niya mga tao nga di man na iya kwarta para mo tana sa kaayuhan sa tao. So dili sad siya maayo nga indicator. Okay. So another one. What about this next graphical representation? So from the original 6 pesos nga budget, nahimo na lang ang income niya nga 4 pesos. So what does it mean? Ang but pasabot ani guys, if ang indication ani is if the limited income has been changed, the capacity or the power of the consumer to buy such commodity shall also be affected. Sabot pasabot, kung mugamay ang iyang income, mugamay pud ang posibilidad, ang choice sa iyahang pagpalit. Kung mudako ang iyang income, dako pud siya o possibility sa iyahang mapalit. Okay? So, sakto ang giingon sa panultihon guys, na pag dako ganig butones, dako pod og muawas, no? Gamay ganig butones, gamay pud muawas. So, mo na ang but pasabot ani. So, another, what about ang atong gi-change diri is ang income. What about mo ma-change ang income? Mo change pag yun ang ato ang prices. For example kana. So the difference between the two is this, no? In this first situation nga na I change, at least the student can still buy a combination between the two, no? Two commodities. So makapalit pa siya diri og banana as well as makapalit pa siya og candy. But in this second situation, okay, na it goes beyond the extreme. Wala na gud siya combination. So ang lesson na gid ani nga ako ipakita karon guys in the budget line is this. everybody of us, no, people wanted to improve our economic status on earth. Now, the lesson learned is this. If you wanted to increase your power or capacity to purchase such commodities or services that is offered in life, we must be able to learn to increase also in a good manner the way of increasing our income. No? More capacity, more income means more capacity of uh, optimizing sa commodities present around us. Now, lesser capacity means lesser income po. So, another thing, we must be able to learn how to sacrifice things. Like, for example, in the slope, no, kung ipakita dari. For sa original, for every two candies being sacrificed, that student will be able to get one banana. So, ingana na na. Not all the time nga we have to choose nga unsa ra atong gusto dapat equal siya. Duha ka banana, duha ka duha pud ka sa ni uh, usa ka banana dapat duha pud ka kuan. Dapat kung makapalit siya og banana, dapat equal gid permitting candy. No. We must be able to adjust, no? By adjusting ourselves, aligning the budget, that indicates that we are actually sacrificing things. Inga na lang. And last but not the least, to wrap up, no? Do not spend your money or budget above the intended budget line. Okay, for sure, if that person keeps on spending that money above the budget line, the only thing is, sige, mapuno siya sa utang. No? Mapuno siya sa utang. And likewise, do not keep on spending the budget line below. Okay, though it is feasible, no? Others might be sacrificed also. Okay? So, na-sacrifice ang services o goods nga intended unta for that particular budget. Later on, it's good only kung ikaw ra ang masakripisyuhan, no? But when it comes to group, dili sad siya maayo. So, kinahanglan you must be able to spend the budget within the optimum way if you're talking about a group. But kung ikaw lang gani sa usa sa imong kaugalingon, dili pud maayo nga permanentihon kay ang at stake nimo ang imong lawas o ang imong happiness, no? Sobra na kakatihik, di na kay kahalos mo palit og unsay need nimo. So dili pa na maayo. That's a good indicator. So I hope guys that you have learned something about the idea of a budget line. This is illustrating linear equations into variables, no? So inyo makita, no? They are just straight lines. But indeed, this is connected to economics, no? Basic economics tao, or preparing yourself in the real life situation. I hope guys you have learned something from this. God bless us all.